April 2026 is absolutely stacked with releases. We're talking 20 games that are all competing for your attention at the exact same time. Some of these have been hyped for years. Some are complete surprises, but all of them are worth knowing about. Whether you're into sci-fi shooters, RPGs, indie darlings, or fighting games, there's something here for you. Let's get into it. Starfield's first major expansion is finally landing, and it's promising to be massive. Terran Armada shifts focus to a completely new faction and a whole new corner of space that the base game never explored. Bethesda has been quietly working on this expansion since the game's launch, and it shows in how polished this looks from the footage. The expansion adds new systems to explore, new ships to pilot, and a whole storyline that stands on its own but also connects back to the main game's events. If you bounced off Starfield's base game, this expansion might actually be worth revisiting. The scale is massive. Dozens of new locations, hundreds of new items, weapons, and armor pieces. But more importantly, the expansion seems to understand what people wanted from the base game and actually delivers on it this time. New factions with their own agendas, better quest lines, and actual meaningful choices that feel like they matter. The space exploration feels more rewarding now, less clicking through menus, more actually discovering things. Terran Armada launches April 3rd, 2026 on PC and Xbox Series X and S. If you're a Starfield fan, this is your month. Replaced is one of those indie games that came out of nowhere and caught everyone's attention. It's a side-scrolling action game set in a cyberpunk world, but what makes it special is the art style. It looks like a fully animated 1980s arcade game that somehow got a budget. The pixel art is pristine, the animation is fluid. Every frame looks like it was handcrafted. And when you're watching your character move through this neon-soaked world, it just feels right. Gameplay is tight action platforming with combat elements. You're navigating through environments, fighting enemies, solving puzzles, uncovering the story bit by bit. Nothing revolutionary mechanically, but everything is polished. The story follows an android trying to figure out what it is and why it exists in a world where androids are seen as second-class citizens. It's a sci-fi noir tale told through environmental storytelling and careful world-building. The developers have been meticulous about every detail. The sound design alone is worth the price of admission. Replaced releases April 5th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you love pixel art, cyberpunk aesthetics, and tight action games, this one is a must. Kingdom's Return is a sequel that's been waiting years for the right moment to come back. The original Kingdom games built a cult following for their minimalist approach to city building and management. You control the single character, navigating a 2D landscape, making decisions that ripple out and affect your entire kingdom. Time to Rise expands on that formula significantly. The world is bigger, more complex, more systems to manage, but it keeps that same meditative, thought-driven pace. This isn't a fast-paced RTS. It's more like a walking simulator meets strategic puzzle game. What makes it special is how everything is connected. A decision you make affects politics, economy, military balance. You can't just focus on one aspect and ignore the others. Balance is everything. The visuals are stunning in their simplicity. Hand-drawn art that moves beautifully. A soundtrack that perfectly complements the atmosphere. The whole package just works together. It's a game for people who like thinking through problems rather than reflexively reacting to them. Kingdom's Return launches April 8th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. If you want something completely different, this is it. Pragmata has been delayed so many times that some people forgot it was even coming. But Capcom finally confirmed an April release, and from what they've shown, it was worth the wait. This is a sci-fi action-adventure set on a lunar research station where everything has gone catastrophically wrong. You play as Hugh, a space explorer in a high-tech suit, alongside Diana, an android girl who rides on your back and helps you solve puzzles and overcome obstacles. The core mechanic is that you control both of them simultaneously. Hugh handles the physical stuff, shooting, moving, fighting. Diana solves hacking puzzles in real time. It's constant cooperation between the two characters. Combat is fast and fluid. Movement feels responsive. The environments are detailed and carefully designed, And the story, which focuses on the bond between Hugh and Diana, is genuinely touching in ways most action games never attempt. Visually, it's gorgeous. The RE engine doing heavy lifting here. Everything looks detailed and realistic. The lunar base feels like a real place where people worked. Pragmata releases April 24th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. This one is worth the wait. Masters of Albion is an action RPG that's been flying under the radar, despite being quite ambitious. The setting is a medieval fantasy world where magic and technology coexist. You're playing as a warrior trained in ancient combat, but also equipped with futuristic gear. That blend of old and new is visually distinctive. Gameplay is a mix of open-world exploration, dungeon crawling, and real-time combat. It's not a Souls-like. The difficulty is more forgiving, but it's still challenging enough to feel rewarding. What makes it interesting is how the story branches based on choices. You can approach problems diplomatically, sneak through, or fight your way through. The world remembers your decisions. The world itself is packed with side content, hidden villages, forgotten dungeons, secrets scattered everywhere. You get rewarded for exploring off the beaten path. Visually, it's solid without being groundbreaking. The art direction is more important than technical specs, and they've nailed the atmosphere. Masters of Albion releases April 10th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you want a solid action RPG without the difficulty wall, this is it. Clockwork Ambrosia is a puzzle platformer that's caught the attention of people who care about game design. The entire game is built around one core mechanic: time manipulation. But unlike games that just use time slow, this one builds entire puzzles around it. You're moving through a world that's constantly shifting. Objects appear and disappear based on time state. Paths change. Gravity shifts. Physics rewrites itself, and you have to understand how time works in this world to progress through increasingly complex puzzles. Visually, it's beautiful. A hand-drawn aesthetic with clean animation. The color palette is vibrant. Watching the world shift as time changes is hypnotic. The difficulty curve is perfect. It starts simple enough to understand the mechanics, then escalates smoothly without ever feeling unfair. Story-wise, it's minimal. Just you, the world, and figuring out what's happening through environmental storytelling. The soundtrack is absolutely stellar. Original compositions that perfectly match the atmosphere. Clockwork Ambrosia launches April 12th, 2026 on PC, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series X. If you love clever puzzle design, this is essential.
Outbound is a survival game with a twist. Instead of being stranded on a hostile planet, you're voluntarily leaving civilization to explore and discover. The tone is more about wonder than desperation. You're equipped with a spaceship and basic supplies. Your job is to explore a procedurally generated universe, find resources, upgrade your equipment, and push further into space. It's part exploration game, part resource management, part narrative adventure. The story unfolds through exploration. You discover ancient artifacts, encounter strange phenomena, slowly piece together what's really happening. The universe is huge, but feels carefully designed. Procedural generation is smart enough that nowhere feels random. Survival mechanics exist, but they're not punishing. The focus is on discovery, not desperation. Visually, it's sci-fi minimalism, clean designs, elegant interfaces. Everything serves the exploration experience. Outbound launches April 15th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you want exploration without constant pressure, this is perfect.
Opus. Prism Peak is the latest in a series that's been quietly making some of the best games nobody's heard of. This one is a turn-based tactical RPG set in a fantasy world with a twist. The characters are all musicians. They literally use music as magic. Combat is built around turn order and positioning, but also around rhythm and timing. When you execute moves at the right beat, they're more powerful. It's rhythm game mechanics meeting tactical RPG design. The writing is genuinely funny and charming. The characters have real personality. The story doesn't take itself too seriously. Visually, it's hand-drawn and colorful. The art style is distinctive and appealing. Character animations are expressive. Gameplay depth is solid.
There are real build opportunities. Different party compositions lead to different strategies. Opus Prism Peak releases April 18th, 2026 on PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS5. If you want something different from standard RPGs, this delivers.
Tides of Tomorrow is a narrative adventure game that's been getting buzz for its emotional storytelling. You play as a character traveling across a dying world. The ocean is rising, civilization is collapsing. Your journey is about finding meaning in the chaos. It's not action-heavy. Movement is slow and deliberate. The game is more about experiencing moments than performing actions. Walking through beautiful ruins, talking to the few people left, understanding what happened, coming to terms with loss. The writing is exceptionally strong. The dialogue feels natural. The characters feel real. You genuinely care what happens to them. Visually, it's gorgeous. Post-apocalyptic beauty, overgrown cities, nature reclaiming everything. The contrast between human architecture and nature is striking. It's a game about grief, hope, and human connection in a world that's lost everything. Tides of Tomorrow launches April 20th, 2026 on PC and PS5. If you want something emotionally impactful, this is it. Saros is Housemarque's follow-up to Returnal, and it's shaping up to be one of the bigger PS5 exclusives. It's a fast-paced action game set on an alien planet under permanent eclipse. You're a soldier sent to investigate, and things immediately go wrong. The combat is bullet hell intensity meets action shooter. Tons of enemies, complex attack patterns, constant movement required. Standing still is usually the worst decision you can make. What makes Saros different from Returnal is the upgrade system. You actually progress permanently now. Failure doesn't erase your progress. Every run makes you stronger overall. That changes the whole feel of the game. Instead of pure mastery, there's actual progression. You get stronger. Enemies get tougher. It stays balanced. Visually, it's cutting edge. PS5 really being pushed here. The alien architecture is genuinely unsettling. The action gets absolutely crazy at times. Saros releases April 22nd, 2026, exclusively on PlayStation 5. If you love action games and own a PS5, this is a must-have. Vampire Crawlers is a roguelike dungeon crawler with vampires as the central mechanic. You're playing as a vampire, navigating randomly generated dungeons. Your main resource is blood, and you need it to survive. But you also use blood to power abilities. Managing blood becomes the core puzzle. Do you use your blood for powerful attacks, or do you save it for survival? Every decision has weight. Runs are short enough that failure doesn't feel like a massive time loss. But long runs can turn into epic power fantasies, where you've accumulated enough abilities to become unstoppable. The rogue-like structure is tight. Progression feels good. Unlocking new abilities and weapons gives you long-term goals. Visually, it has a dark gothic aesthetic. Hand-drawn art with a color palette that feels appropriately vampiric. Vampire Crawlers launches April 25th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you love roguelikes, this one's worth checking out. Jay and Silent Bob: Chronic Blunt Punch is a fighting game based on the cult film characters. It's legitimately fun, and that's coming from someone who expected this to be a cash grab tie-in. The roster is full of characters from the View Askewniverse. The fighting is straightforward without being shallow. Mechanics are easy to learn but have depth to master. What makes it work is the humor. The game doesn't take itself seriously. Characters have personality. Interactions are funny. Even the tutorial is entertaining. Online play is solid. Rollback netcode handling matches well. Local multiplayer is where the game really shines, though. Visually, it's clean 2D sprites with vibrant colors. Animations are expressive. Interactions are charming. Jay and Silent Bob releases April 28th, 2026 on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. If you like fighting games and Kevin Smith's humor, this works. Gecko Gods is an indie action platformer that's been getting attention for its unique style. You play as a gecko, climbing through increasingly complex levels. What sounds simple becomes genuinely challenging. The movement mechanics are tight. Wall jumping, wall sliding, all the classic platformer moves feel responsive. Precision is required, but the game gives you the tools to succeed. Visually, it's colorful and whimsical. The world feels alive, even though it's just environments. Art direction is charming. The difficulty curve is perfect. Early levels teach you mechanics. Later levels demand mastery. Never does it feel like you're being cheated by the game. There's minimal story, just vibes, really. But the experience of moving through this world is genuinely joyful. Gecko Gods launches April 1st, 2026
on PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS5. If you love platformers, this is a day one purchase.
Aphelion is a space exploration game that's more about discovery than combat. You pilot a ship through a massive star system. You can visit planets, space stations, derelict spacecraft. Everything is explorable. Nothing is restricted. The story unfolds through exploration. You find old logs, piece together what happened, slowly understand the mystery of this abandoned system. It's a game that trusts the player to be curious. No quest markers, no objective arrows, just you, the universe, and the drive to explore. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Ambient sci-fi music that perfectly matches the isolation and wonder. Visually, it's realistic without being photorealistic. Clean, detailed environments that invite exploration. Aphelion launches April 5th, 2026 on PC and PS5. If you want true exploration gameplay, this is it. Follow the Light is a puzzle adventure game that's been getting buzz for its inventive design. You play as a character with a light following you. The light reveals things in darkness. It also activates mechanisms. It has weight in physics. Everything revolves around the light. Puzzles are built entirely around using light creatively. How do you use your light to solve problems? The game keeps finding new answers to that question. It's a game that constantly surprises you. Just when you think you've figured out the system, it reveals a new layer you hadn't considered. The world is beautiful in a haunting way. Darkness pressing in. Light, your only companion. Atmosphere is incredible. Story is minimal but meaningful. The relationship between you and your light is the core. Follow the Light launches April 8th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. If you love inventive puzzle design, this is essential. Pokemon Champions is the next major Pokemon game, and it's significantly different from what came before. This isn't another Scarlet/Violet style open world. It's a return to the roots, gyms, Elite Four, actual gym leaders who are fully realized characters with personality. The monster roster is refined, not bloated. Each Pokemon feels meaningful. The type matchup system is balanced, but still requires strategy. The story follows a standard Pokemon formula, but does it really well. It's engaging. The rival is genuinely interesting. The villains have motivations. New Pokemon designs are creative. New mechanics add depth without overwhelming complexity. Visually, it's cleaner than previous games. Performance is solid. No frame rate issues. Character animations are detailed. Pokemon Champions launches April 10th, 2026 on Nintendo Switch. If you've felt burned out on Pokemon, this brings back the magic. Diablo 4's first major expansion is finally here, and it's bringing Diablo himself into the story in a major way. Lord of Hatred adds a new act to the campaign. New bosses, new dungeons, new loot to chase. But more importantly, the story reaches a climax that actually feels earned. New class builds add depth to existing systems. Build diversity is significantly better. The power fantasy escalates in satisfying ways. Endgame content has been expanded. New seasons will have new mechanics. Long-term goals feel achievable, but not grindy. The expansion learned from D4's launch issues. Quality has significantly improved. The game feels more like classic Diablo now. Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, releases April 15th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you want a Diablo 4 to be better, this fixes it. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is an action game based on the classic franchise. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's a straightforward action game with He-Man smashing things, and that's perfectly fine. Combat is satisfying, heavy-hitting, feels powerful. You're genuinely a barbarian warrior. The roster of playable characters grows throughout. Man-at-Arms, Tila, Fisto, each with different playstyles. Switching between them changes how you approach combat. Story is faithful to the source material without being self-serious about it. It knows what it is. It leans into it. Visually, the character designs are great. Armor is detailed. Muscle definition looks right. The world of Eternia is visually distinct. He-Man launches April 18th, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you grew up with He-Man, this is for you.
In Konbini One Store is a cozy management game that's been getting attention for its charm. You're running a small convenience store, managing inventory, helping customers, building relationships. That's genuinely the entire game, but it's built with so much care and attention to detail that the simple premise becomes genuinely engaging. Each customer has their own personality. Regular customers become familiar. You notice when they don't show up. Small stories play out over time. Managing stock is a simple puzzle, knowing what customers want, ordering appropriately, balancing profit with customer satisfaction. Visually, it's warm and inviting, pixel art that feels lived in. The store becomes a character itself. There's no pressure, no timers, no failure states, just you running a store one day at a time. In Konbini One Store launches April 20th, 2026 on PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS5. If you want something relaxing and charming, this is perfect. Samson, a Tindleston story, is an action-adventure set in a fantasy world with real biblical inspiration. You play as a warrior dealing with his own strength and the burden it carries. The themes are surprisingly mature. Combat is responsive and skill-based. No levels or progression gates. You get better through practice. Early bosses that seem impossible become manageable with skill. The world is detailed and explorable. Side areas contain stories and secrets. NPCs are written with care. Dialogue is genuine. Story deals with themes of strength, responsibility, and faith in ways that don't feel preachy. Characters struggle with real moral questions. Visually, it's detailed and atmospheric. The art style is distinctive. Character models are expressive. Samson releases April 22, 2026 on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. If you want action with substance, this delivers. That's the list. 20 games coming in April 2026. Every single one of them is worth your time. Whether you want pure action, relaxing management, puzzle games, or massive RPGs, April has got you covered. Drop your most anticipated April 2026 game in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more gaming content every week. See you in the next one.